What is up, everybody? I'm NoLuxGiven, and today we are going to be taking a look at Loki, the god of randomness. Casting random spells every turn, and despite Loki being pretty random as far as heroes go, I actually have an interesting thesis. And by the way, I messed up a little bit on turn one. Still a little bit rusty getting some of those legs back, but it's not normal that you shrink drink into a golden chicken on turn one as Loki, so my muscle memory for that wasn't there. We end up wasting a gold rather than just locking on to a blind mouse or something and being able to pick that up for free this turn. So we could have been even a little bit stronger this game, which potentially just makes it even more impressive, right? One thing that we can do here to try to win this for glory is we could have sold off the blind mouse to pick up the baby dragon, then just been a little bit stronger for this turn, but not going to go for that. Just hoping that with three characters we're strong enough to win this for glory, and unfortunately we're not. If we had that baby dragon, we might have been, though, depending on how that combat RNG worked out. On turn three we get a free roll, so Loki is definitely hitting us with a troll spell for this time, but we're still ticking down on Cinderella, so that's nice. And let me circle back to part of the thesis of this game now that I'm done being distracted by that. But while Loki does have a lot of randomness involved, there's actually a hidden part of Loki's hero power that makes him more consistent. And that is the fact that Loki does not have access to spell treasures. So things like Great Library Card, Merlin's Hat, Crystal Ball, maybe Moonsong Horn, I'm not sure. You probably can still find Moonsong Horn because it gives +1/+1, but all of those other ones that I mentioned, Loki's not going to have access to, which actually means he's got the smallest, almost said strongest, potentially strongest, though no crystal ball, probably not strongest, smallest treasure pool in the game, which means that you're going to be able to more consistently find the treasures that you actually do want to find, which provides kind of an interesting gameplay element. And for the most part, I think one of the most powerful things that you can do with treasures is slay. Find the Moonsong Horn and the Evil Eye. And Loki's just going to be a little bit more consistent at finding some other slay support treasures as well. We'll talk about some tier 2 treasures this game, but the the things that come to mind as we wind up stealing a second Cinderella this game. So tier 2 treasures are certainly important. But you'll notice as we triple this goat as well, nothing that has the word spell on it. It's going to make spinning wheel easier to find. Also piggy bank, both of those can do interesting things with Loki. I actually wind up really liking piggy bank on Loki because you can't use your extra gold to roll for spells. So it's better to just hang on to some of that extra gold when you're playing as this hero. But another thing that it can find is it can find bounty board, you can find Hermes sandals, and you can also find Dragon's Nest. And those kind of trifecta of tier 3 treasures are both really powerful once you hit level 4 and definitely push you into that slay direction. And we're going to grab Cindy here. Noble Steed, certainly an interesting treasure, but I'm going to go for Dragon's Nest on 3.2. We're going to be seeing some dragons next turn, and I just think that Dragon's Nest is a really, really powerful treasure. And I think that the fact that Loki can't find, I think it might just, it's going to be the beaker and the library card. The fact that you can't find either of those while playing on Loki is just going to make it more consistent that you are able to find the things that you do want. We also pick up a baby dragon here on 3.2. We actually pick up a pair of baby dragons, so maybe we could find one more tier 2 treasure using those. But yeah, ultimately, I think that that's just kind of like something fun to think about. The fact that Loki has a few less treasures potentially makes the God of Randomness a little bit more consistent than some other heroes in a sort of ironic way. Looks like Horde Dragon did not show up to play this game, so we are moving on to tier 4 with 33 health. Feeling pretty good near the top of the lobby. We'll pick up Baby Dragon, and then we'll find those Hermes sandals, another really good slay treasure. And we want to find some dragons now as well. Really want to find both, not Horde Dragon, that one's gone, Lightning Dragon and Feasting Dragon to complement this board. That would be really nice. Unfortunately, we wind up doing a wee bit of rolling before finding anything, but then we eventually do find a Feasting Dragon, which it's just good to have that on 4.0. We could even switch Baby Dragon and Feasting Dragon here, though I don't mind Feasting Dragon in slot 5 to try to grab some additional slays after that. Not going to pick up another Baby Dragon, though, at this stage of the game. I just want to put as much of my gold as possible into finding some other things. Oh, I guess I actually do wind up putting that Feasting Dragon in slot 1. Well, we got the Hermes sandals. Might as well use them. So I don't hate this play as well because it's 4.0. So an 11-13 Feasting Dragon is pretty likely to slay here. And it does. It takes out a donkey. So that's really nice. And yeah, overall, we are just super, super strong this turn. Hit him for what was that, 13, and now we get to pick up another Feasting Dragon. It's even a little bit bigger, and we get to triple our Feasting Dragon on 4.1. So this is a really, really strong start to the game. Mystery solved. You can find Moonsong Horn on Loki. So unfortunately, that one does not come out of the pool. And I actually don't know if I want any of these tier 4 treasures here. They're not super exciting, and by skipping, we can pick up 2 donkeys this turn, and that will allow us to pick up a tier 3 treasure for next turn. Not super excited by tier 3 treasures either, but like the main one would be Blood Moon, because you don't have Merlin's Hat, you don't have Crystal Ball, so a little bit higher chance to find Blood Moon and continue your slaying adventures. So we'll see if we're able to do that, and if we can win this combat. We're up against one of the top dogs of this lobby, but if we can win this combat, we'll also grab a free tier 4 character for our troubles, and looks like we will be able to do so. We'll also grab some free gold off of my opponent's prized pig after we slowly but surely battle through these donkeys. There we go. Extra gold from both prized pigs, plus the 4 glory, plus we got all of our Feasting Dragon slays, and we're going to grab a tier 3 treasure here. Don't actually love any of these options, though. I do consider Cloak of the Assassin, but it's just worse than Dragon's Nest, so not going to go for that. Despite 2 of these treasures actually having the word slay on them, they're just not the ones that I'm looking for on this current board. But another really important thing to note is we got a Wish Upon a Star here, so we really want to win this turn. For that reason, I could have replaced the spinning gold with the cloak, just to give an additional +3/+3 to a few random characters here. But it also means that we're level 5, so I just wind up rolling and looking for some powerful level 5 units. We find more than a few. We're going to add a Robin Hood to the board, and then we're also going to be able to add a Southern Siren to the board in the last few moments here. Couldn't find space for the donkey after all of that, and I liked that the Robin Hood hit onto the mummy, so I didn't want to mess with that, and we wind up taking out their Sherwood Shore Shot, which is going to be enough to win this combat. So, up 2 XP on Loki, not a terrible place to be. We can pick up another Southern Siren this turn. Could also pick up a River Wish Mermaid. I do not hate that. And then, yeah, adding another Southern Siren to the board potentially lets us build into a tier 5 treasure. Though, I mean, I want to push this all the way. We're playing dragons. Let's go ahead and pick up another Feasting Dragon. Let's sell off probably, I guess it doesn't matter. We can sell off any 2 things. I'll sell off my unupgraded characters to add another Feasting Dragon to the board. Really pump up our shops before we go into 6.0. And I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. We are playing up against the lobby leader here. Oops. Okay, I jumped ahead too far. Apologies. That's right, I forgot this video is a few clips together. But yeah, we are actually the lobby leader, and we're playing up against the second lobby leader. but they're looking pretty strong. They are level 6 already, so they're beating us in XP. We are going to get that Slay with both of our Feasting Dragons, so that's really nice. And then we could even potentially get one more by the looks of it. Yeah, so we're going to add +4/+4 to our shop. Not too shabby. It was actually a really close combat even, and now we're level 6, and everything in our shop has, I believe, +11. Yeah, so feeling pretty good about our chances here. And then we are going to cap off our 6.0 turn by picking up a Hercules and a Lancelot, trying to build into some treasures. And those are really nice characters as well once you already have some bonuses on them, so they are a little bit more likely to activate. I don't hate the Medusa in the shop as well. It's just a good character. We're already down to the top 5 of the lobby, though everybody in the top 5 still has a pretty considerable amount of health left, so I want to try to greed, find some more treasures. We're just working on these tier 2 treasures right now, so let's see if we can't find some tier 5 and tier 6 treasures to maybe push us in an interesting direction as we are able to swap out some of these, because we really don't have a build or a direction necessarily just yet. We are rocking with the River Wish Mermaid, but we don't need to stay onto that forever. We'll take a little bit more damage here. That's okay. And then we definitely see some potential direction in this shop. We see a Jormungand, which is really good with all the Slay stuff we got going on, and then we also have both of those burning trees. If we had already picked up some treasures, then I might have gone for the burning trees to see what we could find there. And then I'm thinking about taking Deck of Many Things before realizing that 3 of Swords will activate my Lancelot. So that's what I wind up picking up for this turn. And then I just throw Lancelot into the front row. Might even switch this board around a little bit more and move my Jormungand to the back. And then again, there is also, though I guess Feasting Dragon in the back row is probably a little bit better because 18 is not super likely to slay at this point in the game. But we're going to grab a tier 5 treasure from Lancelot this turn. We're probably going to grab a tier 6 treasure from Hercules. I think I actually wasted a gold there by not rolling at the end of turn. But we're gonna have some more direction after we see what we get from these treasures. So that's kind of the idea. Hercules is going to be able to activate as well. So we'll have 2 new treasures to add to this board and figure out what we're doing with. We can toss the spinning gold. We've gotten more than enough use out of that, and we're level 6. And we can also toss this 3 of Shields at this point in the game, or 3 of Swords, now that we've activated our Lancelot. Hard to pass up Staff of the Old Toad, especially when you don't really have that much going on just yet. And it's impossible to pass up a Pandora's Box. Pandora's Box is interesting because it doesn't really work well with Slay, and we get a little bit more pushed into Slay even so when we see a Baba Yaga in the next shop. And then we also get to pick up a tier 5 treasure here, which, well, okay, let's get to it. I guess I have to sell off some things. That winds up being Horn of Olympus, so that's really hard to pass up as well. We could have gone for Hand of Midas plus Staff of the Old Toad and pushed in a new direction with the Pandora's Box next turn. That wouldn't, excuse me, wouldn't have been the craziest route to go, but we also have a lot of units already for this Slay comp, so that's what we're going to try to make work here. And there's definitely something to be said for the lobby already being in top 4 and just trying to end things quicker and not drag on the game. The Pandora's Box is going to give us round table. Not super excited about that one, but if you are playing a Slay comp, it's really tough to just make use of any tier 7 treasure. And then Loki has, I guess, only 1 less treasure at tier 7, right? Loki doesn't have access to Black Prism, so we won't have that. And interestingly, something that another way that Loki's a little bit different, a lot of times a 9 Sea Terror or an activated Hercules, I am hanging on to those so that way I can True Love's Kiss them or Shard of the Ice Queen them, respectively, though you can True Love's Kiss either one. When you're playing as Loki, they don't actually have any value to you because you will never roll a True Love's Kiss or a Shard of the Ice Queen when you are playing as Loki. Those spells just aren't available in the pool, because if they landed on something that you actually really wanted, it would just be way too big of a grief. So they don't include those spells in the pool. My ordering's a little bit bad here because I've got the Horn of Olympus. My Jormungand should have been in 5. My Riverwish Mermaid should have been in 7. Just forgot about it, but not a huge deal. And I think I will wind up correcting that for the next combat, or maybe the combat after that. We're about to play up against the Ghost. And even though this game is almost over, we are playing up against the Ghost, which gives us some nice time to try to scale a Lightning Dragon still. And this is also like a pretty quick lobby. And for that reason, I feel like maybe we can make a Lightning Dragon work. I'm going to pick up a Jormungand here, and then unfortunately, I'm going to go ahead and toss this round table. There's just nothing that we're doing with a round table at this point in the game. It would give a few of our characters a little bit more health, and then it would give our supports like a little bit more attack, but really it's just totally irrelevant. And the only reason it's giving more health, I guess, is because the Baba Yaga is giving things +3 attack. So yeah, it's really just super not relevant. I'm not going to worry about it here. We do get some nice slays. Actually, everything slays against the Ghost. So this combat works out really, really well for us. I mean, Jormungand doesn't slay, but that's not permanent stuff anyways. And then we get a Forbidden Fruit. So we'll use some of that extra gold. We'll pick up a Lightning Dragon here. If we could find an Evil Eye, I'm certainly going to take it, though I'm also somewhat interested in adding another Jormungand to this board. I think that that could be good for us. I'd love to triple up on the Lightning Dragon, though I'm not convinced if I should be playing both of them and just playing the one upgraded Jormungand. It's a little bit tricky. I'm not actually sure what I wind up going with, but I think I just wind up playing 2 Jormungands here. No, looks like I do play double Lightning Dragon, so that's totally fine. I guess I just wanted to scale it as much as possible before potentially getting to triple it up in a final combat. Take out their whole back line, then we take out one of their Jormungands, and then they are able to get in with an Empress P, but they actually don't even have a Riverwish Mermaid. So yeah, we're able to make short work of the Fates. And now we're on to the finals. And there's definitely a pretty big temptation here to pick up the Empress P. I'm 100% picking up the Baba Yaga, but I'm not sure if I want the Empress P. So I put the Golden Chicken in for a second just to check like how big would this Empress P be. It is nice that it's already a 29/29, but ultimately I decide that I just want to roll. I've got a pair of Baba Yagas, I've got a pair of Lightning Dragons. If I triple up either of those, I can put the Lancelot back in. So, or this other Jormungand, right? I am actually going to play the other Jormungand on this final combat. So ultimately, I just decided there wasn't the space for Empress P on these final boards, on these final turns. And I'm going to wind up playing this. Just one Lightning Dragon in case my opponent has a Soul Tack, and we'll put that in the 4th position. Medusa gets to slay. And then there's one other thing I do sometimes. I put my smaller Jormungand first. That way, in case these combats are close, my big Jormungand should be big enough to lock up the rest of the fight. Looks like my opponent just has a bunch of Robin Hoods and no Soul Tacks to be found. So we are going to get a pretty easy win here. Unless they like, no, this Siren is not going to be big enough to battle through my Jormungand. So that is going to be all she wrote. We will slowly take out Zippy the zombie here and find the win. And yeah, I just thought this was a nice one to kind of showcase the consistency of Slay Loki, the god of randomness. I think this is one of the most common comps that I wind up playing on Loki. I'd be curious to look at how Loki fares on untapped.gg if most people wind up playing Slay comps on this hero, but I know that I do. Anyways, that is going to be it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'm No Likes Given. Peace.